He's on you. You got him. Yes! He'll smoke it. He's a big one. There's a littler one I'm coming down to. Yeah! Woo! Coming that way. He's coming.
Coming up.
Smoke it. Oh.
You get it? Woo! I'm gonna me.
You know what I switched up is we are out here on Upper Red Lake, and this is my guide. I'm out here. It is December of 2024, giving you guys the details, but this guide will work for the rest of the season and is really new anglers a perfect starting point to tackle this lake. And then for experienced anglers, maybe there's a few things that you guys will find beneficial or interesting, or maybe you'll want to give me some feedback below. So let's do it. Small, unless I'm only getting some of the return. Got him. He's small eater, I think. So I've been fishing Upper Red for, I don't know, the last 10 to 15 years, very religiously. I am from northern Minnesota. I currently live in northern Minnesota, and this is one of my favorite destinations, especially in the first half of ice season. A couple things to think about when you guys come out here is it is one of the first lakes to freeze up. It tends to have a lot of ice by middle of December. There are half tons out here, and it is December 16th, I want to say. So just to put into perspective, that's fairly normal for this time of year. When dissecting this lake, there are a lot of resorts you can stay at. The most important thing is understanding we are only able to fish roughly a third of the lake. I will have the coordinates right here, but on your, like an OnX or one of your mapping softwares or apps you have on your phone, that's going to show you the boundary, and you need to stay on that northeast side of the boundary. If you are caught on Red Lake Nation lines, they can confiscate everything of yours and you will not get it back. So just keep that in mind. There are a lot of different access points that we do have access to on Upper Red Lake, and you're going to see everything from Rogers, Mort's, Boondocks, JR's, up to West Winds, Beacons, Red Lake Remote, and a few in between. And all of these destinations are going to be perfect and safe for you to get on the lake and fish productively. Where the fish tend to be can be different. I've been on the north side and had the best luck. Beacons is one of my favorite places to stay, but I've also been up there and found that being on the south side is more productive. So just pay attention to fishing reports, pay attention to influencers out there. They're going to help you decide kind of where the bite might be active. I have found that these fish do a lot of roaming. It kind of reminds me of almost like a Lake Winnipeg in that matter, where there's not a lot of structure, but you know, figuring out what depth these fish are at or what part of the lake they are at is going to be key in finding success. My biggest advice is get out far and get out deep. We are out at 14 feet and this is my third day out here and it has been wild. I had a tough time closer to shore earlier in the year, which tends to be the case, and just for safety reasons, they weren't letting us out. Highly recommend, if you can, get away from the crowds, get out to deeper water, and I do find that fishing gets better. One of the most common things when people write to me asking, you know, what can I do? I'm not finding success on Upper Red. I say, you're probably sitting with all the hard houses or all the houses closer to shore. Get away from people. You can use trucks to do that. You can use four-wheelers, snowmobiles. Today, we are some of the farthest people out, and we're just on a wheeler, and that gives us the freedom to kind of go wherever we need so we can stay away from people and stay mobile. And then on top of that, there is some structure out here, albeit minimal. Center Bar is a popular place. I know the last couple weeks that's been very good. The first people that have gone out there, they've been limiting out really quickly, but any sort of structure you find on your map could give you a little bit of hope, give you a little bit of confidence, and maybe we're trying. And my best days have never been a particular spot.
He doesn't want.
That is a, oh, he grabbed off. Oh. Got him! It's not the bigger one. God dang it, no! With that said, I am using a flip over, so when it comes to gear, hub versus flip over, I love filming in hubs, I love having friends in hubs, but I love a flip over, keeping it attached to stay mobile up here. If you're not seeing fish, if you're not catching fish, it's one thing. If you're not seeing fish, you need to move. That is going to be my best advice. Get away from the people. So highly recommend using a flip over when you're planning your trip out here. We are hammering the walleye out here on Red. Doubles, buddy, doubles. Yes, it's a very small one, but I'll take it. Two babies, let's hold them up. Yeah! Oh, that's the best one yet. And I just want to go through with you guys the gear I recommend. When it comes to rod, reel, line, I recommend having a medium powered rod. A medium light or medium heavy will work, but anywhere in there is going to be ideal because you're going to catch a lot of fish between that 16 and 21 inch range. So they're going to have a little bit of fight and they're going to have a little bit of weight. So having that just for leverage on those fish is going to be key. For line, I always like using an 8-pound braid and an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. Nikki here is slaying with straight braid, so obviously it's not necessary, but if the bite gets tough, sometimes a little bit of invisibility on that line can help you. So So for tackle, I love spoons up here. I'm just gonna use a spoon, a lot of times a rattle spoon, and I'm gonna tip it with either a rainbow or a fat head, and I'll do a full body or just a minnow head depending on how they're biting that day. And for spoons, just a rattle can go a long ways when this water is a little bit darker. What I recommend is the Lindy Rattle and Flyer. I use that almost exclusively up here. You can get those at learnet.com using code Nicole15, but any sort of rattle spoon is going to be great. I like anything from 1/8, 3/16 quarter. Those are going to be great sizes up here, and just make sure you do tip them. For rod length, I'm a big house shack girl if you guys follow me, so just obviously get a shorter rod for when you're sitting in one of these houses, or if you're in a big hub or outside. I can't recommend a 36-inch rod out there enough. The extra leverage can really be beneficial. Oh my God, and I'm up. Get him! Oh, yeah! 6, buddy!
Oh, this is a nicer one, but it's not huge.
So we have only been out here a couple hours midday, and we have been hammering them. The bite windows this year, in my opinion, have been really good in the morning and really good in the evening. We ended up here late morning, and we've been seeing a lot of fish and probably hooking up about 50% of the time. We've each caught our limits and have released them. So fishing's been very, very solid. The active fish, we're just working up the water column, and they seem to want to commit.
You get it? Woo! I'm gonna, Mimi?
You know what I switched up is the fish that are more timid, they'll check it out, move on through. They don't seem to want dead sticking or anything. They're just not actively feeding. When you're fishing up here, it's awesome because there's a lot of different fish you can hook into. You can hook into some of those giant crappies. They actually do have people out here guiding and targeting them now. You could get, like, I believe it's Cisco's. They look like tulipies, whitefish Cisco's. Those are a pretty common catch. And then also really big pike. There are a lot of big pike in this lake and a lot of fish over 38 inches. So Red is definitely known for a crazy amount of walleyes. And if you guys look at the survey reports, it's wild, but there's just a lot of other species you can hook into, making this lake so much fun.
He's a decent fish, Nicole.
Yeah, no, not bad. Maybe he's the nicest.
Get your head up here, buddy.